Hello and welcome you all to my YouTube channel. I am Megha. Today I am going to cover a new topic which is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So this is the part 1 where I will talk about parts of flower. So let's learn together about this. So sexual reproduction in flowering plants involves 4 steps. Okay. Now what are those 4 steps? First is transformation of sporophytic cell to haploid gametophytic cell. Okay, first step is the conversion of sporophytic cell which is diploid into a haploid gametophytic cell. Okay, gametophytic cell is haploid. So this transformation takes place by the process called meiosis. Okay, so this is the first step in the sexual reproduction in flowering plants, which is transformation of diploid sporophytic cell into a haploid gametophytic cell. Okay, now the gametes are formed. So next step is the fusion of gametes. Okay, gametes are haploid. Now the fusion takes place. After fusion, a diploid zygote is formed. Okay, so second step is fusion of the gametes. Male and the female gametes fuse and they form a zygote. Then after the zygote formation, development of embryo takes place. Okay, zygote is formed. Then after zygote develops to form embryo. Then embryo develops into a diploid plant body. Okay, so these are the 4 steps. And all these 4 steps occurs in which part? In the reproductive organ, that is flower. Okay, flower is the reproductive organ where all these processes are taking place. What are all those processes? First is the conversion of a sporophytic cell into a gametophytic cell by the process meiosis. Okay, sporophytic cell convert into gametophytic cell. Then gametes are formed, gametes fuses and they form zygote. Zygote develops and form embryo. Embryo then give rise to a plant body. The plant body is diploid. So these are the steps. Now let's learn about the parts of flower. Okay, flower. Now what is flower? Flower is nothing but a modified stem, or we can say modified shoot. You know the parts of the plants has root part and shoot part. So flower is nothing but the modified shoot, or we can say condensed shoot. Okay, this is flower is specialized to carry out sexual reproduction. So what are the parts of flower now? So flower contains 4 whorls. Okay, if we are talking about a typical angiospermic flower, it contains 4 whorls and they are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynosium. Okay, I am repeating again: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynosium. So these are the 4 whorls of the flower. Okay, now what is receptacle? Also called thalamus. Okay, receptacle is also called thalamus. Now what it is? It is the part which supports all the floral appendages. Okay, thalamus, or we can say receptacle, support all the floral appendages. And this is the pedicel. Pedicel is that part of the flower by which it is attached to the stem. Okay, through this pedicel, the flower is attached to the stem. Hope it is clear. So what are the 4 whorls of the flower? Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynosium. Now we will learn in detail about all these whorls. Now this is a colorful picture of the flower where again the parts are shown. Again I am repeating: receptacle. What is receptacle? It is the part of the flower by which all the floral appendages are attached. It is also known as thalamus. Okay, and this is the male part of the flower. It is called androecium, its single unit is called stamen. Okay, this is calyx, its individual unit is sepal, and this colorful part is the petals. Okay, petal is the individual unit, or otherwise we call it corolla. So calyx, corolla, androecium and gynosium. Okay, now individual units are called sepal, petal, stamen and pistil. Okay, so these are the parts of the flower. Now let's see in detail. First is calyx. Calyx is the outermost wall of the flower. Its individual leaf is called sepal. We have seen that its individual leaf is called sepal. Generally, the calyx are green in color. Okay, here also you can see in this picture that sepals are green in color. Okay, all of you have seen the flower. Sepals are green, generally green in color. Okay, sometimes they are colorful in some cases. For example, in Lilium candidum, in this flower you will see colorful sepals. Okay, if they are colorful, then this type of condition is called petaloid. Okay, so in Lilium candidum you will see colorful petals. Now the main function of the calyx is to protect the flower at the bud stage. Okay, this is the main function of the flower, to protect the flower at the bud stage. Then it supports petals when it blooms. Okay, when the petals bloom, then it calyx support the petals. Then it also prevent transpiration from the inner parts of the flower. Okay, also prevent the transpiration from the inner part of the flower. Generally, the calyx fall down as the flower opens, but in some case it remains. Okay, in some case it remains, and it protects the fruit. And it protects what? Fruits. For example, you have seen raspberry or in strawberry, the calyx is there. Okay, in raspberry you have seen the covering, that is nothing but the calyx. So in some fruits it remain persist. Next word is the corolla. Its individual leaf is called petal. Calyx individual leaf is sepal and corolla individual unit is petal. Now petals are very brightly colored. Okay, red, green, yellow. That means there are multiple colors are there, and they have fragrance also. Okay, so what is the use of it? They are generally bright in color and they have fragrance. So its use is in pollination. Okay, to attract insects for the process pollination, that we will study in next lecture. What is pollination? It is nothing but the transfer of pollen in the flower. Okay, in the male part or female part of the flower. Okay, so this is about pollination. Generally, corolla helps in, they are more attractive to attract the insects for the process called pollination. Now in some cases the sepals and petals are not differentiated, means you cannot identify the sepals and the petals. So in such case the condition is called perianth. Okay, the condition is called perianth, in which the sepals and petals are not distinguishable and its individual unit is called tepal. Okay, its individual unit is tepal. Calyx individual unit is sepal, corolla, petal, and if the calyx and corolla are not distinguishable, means you cannot identify them, then they are called perianth and its individual unit is tepal. I'll show you a flower tulip in which you cannot identify the sepal and the petal. You can see outer covering, these are sepals and petals, they both are of same color. So this type of condition is called perianth and its individual unit is tepal. Okay, I hope it is clear. Calyx, the main function of the calyx is to protect the flower at the bud stage, and the main function of the corolla is to attract the insects for the pollination. Now these calyx and corolla, they are the non-essential, or we can say accessory whorls. or they are the helping walls, okay, whereas the androecium and the gynosium, okay, the androecium and the androecium is the male part and gynosium is the female part. So androecium and the gynosium, they are the essential or reproductive walls. Okay, see this picture. Androecium individual unit is stamen and this is the gynosium, which is also called pistil. So stamen contains anther, upper part is anther, bilobed anther generally. In some cases it is single lobed. Here you can see it is bilobed anther. Okay, two lobes are there. And lower part, this is the filament. So the stamen contains anther and the filament. Okay, and the pistil contains stigma, sticky part where the pollen attach, and then long style neck is there, and at the base there is a swollen ovary. Inside the ovary there are ovules, small structure you can see in this picture, they are the ovules. So the male part, that is stamen, contains two parts. Anther, upper part is anther and contains filament. So stamen has two parts, anther and filament, and pistil has three main parts: stigma, style and ovary. Okay, stigma, style and ovary. Ovary contains ovules. Hope it is clear. And this is the part of the flower by which it is attached to the stem, and this part is called pedicel of the flower. Now let's see about the androecium and the gynosium. So androecium, as I told you, it is the male part of the flower. This is the third word of the flower. First word you have seen calyx, then corolla. Now third word is androecium. Its individual unit is called stamen. It is the male reproductive organ, already told you, and it consists two parts. Upper lobed part is the anther, and then the long tube-like structure you have seen, that is the filament. Okay. Now the filament, this is the filament. Picture is very small. So this filament you can see, it has two ends. This is the proximal end and this is the distal end. So by the proximal end, it is attached to the thalamus or receptacle. Okay, as I told you, the thalamus receptacle is that part of the flower by which all the floral appendages are attached. Okay, proximal end means near to the near part, and distal is far. So far, this is the distal end by which the filament is attached to the anther. Okay, are you getting my point? Proximal end is that part by which it attaches to the thalamus, and distal end is that part of the anther that part of the filament by which it attaches to the anther. This is about androecium. Now next is about gynosium. Gynosium is the fourth word of the flower. Okay, calyx first, corolla second, androecium third, gynosium fourth word of the flower. And its individual unit is called carpels. Okay, now in some cases you have heard the term pistil also. Somewhere you have heard carpel, then gynosium. Okay, and gynosium is the female part whose individual unit is carpel. Now in some cases it is also called pistil. Now what is the difference? See these two pictures. This is the first one, this is the second one. In the first picture you will observe three carpels. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Three carpels are there. All are free. Okay, so this condition is three carpels free. Okay, we can say three carpels free. And here you can see 1, 2 and 3 carpels again, but they are fused. So this is here three carpels are there but they are free, and in this case in the second image 3 carpels are there but they are fused. Okay, now if we talk about pistils, if the case is free carpel, if we are talking about free gynosium means free carpel, then we call it 3 simple pistils. Okay, 3 simple pistil, or we can say 3 carpels. Now if they are fused, then it becomes one compound pistil. Okay, if they are fused, then the pistil is said to be about one compound pistil, but 3 carpels are there. In this case, 3 simple pistils are there and 3 carpels which are free. So condition changes when the gynosium are fused, when the carpels are fused. Only in that case we call it one compound pistil. Otherwise the number are same. If we are talking about free, then the numbers remain the same. Okay, hope it is clear. So now this gynosium contains 3 parts: stigma, style and ovary. Ovary is the lower part. It is basal swollen part which contains ovules inside. Okay, ovary contains 2 ovules. Stigma is the upper part, upper sticky part. Let me draw. This is the stigma, this is the style, which is the connection between the stigma and the ovary. Okay, style is the connection between the stigma and the ovary. Ovary is the swollen part which contains ovules inside. Okay, this is about gynosium. Gynosium is the 4th word of the flower. So carpels are its units, and sometimes we call it pistils also. You know when we call it pistil. Okay, so it contains 3 parts: stigma, style and ovary. Now this is the question which is important for some competitive exams. Okay, in this case you can see the question is that label the part P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Now hope you are able to label it. Okay, you will try. Otherwise I am telling you, this P is the sepal, Q is petal, P, Q, R is anther, S is filament, T is stigma, U is style and V is ovary. Okay, understood? So this you do by yourself. So this lecture is over. Hope you like my lesson. I want your valuable feedback, and please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. Thank you and have